The Alabasta Saga is the second main saga of the One Piece anime and follows Luffy and the rest of the crew as they journey to the kingdom of Alabasta to save this kingdom, which is in a tumultuous civil war between the rebel forces and the royals. However, we soon learn that the real enemy is a pirate warlord that is one of the 7 warlords of the sea known as Crocodile, who is really pulling the strings to really destroy this kingdom from the inside. And so it's up to our heroes to stop him. Guys, I'm so excited to finally talk about One Piece yet again. This review is coming way earlier than I originally planned, but with the amount of views that I got with my previous One Piece video, that I was not expecting at all, I felt like I had to go ahead and talk about this saga in particular, and especially because I am moving right along with Sky Island, and I'll be finished with that soon, so a review for that will be coming sometime next week, most likely. So, let's talk about Alabasta. Now, before we get started, I want to reiterate a little bit of what I thought of the previous saga. I genuinely enjoyed East Blue. I thought it was a great introduction to this series, to the characters. However, I felt that the story wasn't necessarily there. It was a lot of introduction and not really a through-line story. Well, we get that here. Alabasta has a beginning, middle, and end, and a sense of urgency that was not present in the previous season, and I think this saga really takes what was great about that first saga and continues with that, upgrades it a little bit, and adds some new things to it that make it so enthralling and my favorite saga thus far. Now that we have our main crew together, it's important that they start working together as a team, and we get to really see that through this entire saga. We get to see them really working off of each other and helping each other and growing as characters, and I really loved that. We get to see them really grow together as a team, and it makes the entire journey worth it, because we didn't really get that in the first saga with East Blue, because we were setting them up. Now we have set them up, and we can just run wild. And again, the comedy is fantastic in this show. Luffy is just a lovable, just doofus at times, and also just so endearing. I absolutely love him. I love his interactions with all the other characters. I love how the characters grow with each other throughout, and just how they bicker, how they, laugh with each other, how they get angry, and they just feel like a close-knit family at this point, especially by the end of this saga, and that was really some of my favorite stuff. Also, the animation, once again, is really great. There are some truly epic moments throughout this entire saga that really just blew me away in terms of music, animation, thrills, action, character development, and just how it was really able to pull at the heartstrings as well. Now, we also get introduced to some new characters in this saga. In particular, I want to talk about 2, Vivi and Chopper. Now, there is another character that is introduced, but I will talk about them later in the next saga when I review Sky Island. But let's talk about Vivi. She is one of my favorite characters. I absolutely adore this character. She is the Princess of Alabasta, and early on in this saga, Luffy and the gang find her and decide to help her return to Alabasta and also stop this civil war that's going on there. And Vivi is just such a compelling, likable character with a strong presence, a sense of urgency and agency. She is really stellar. And by the end, I just absolutely adored this character, particularly in the Alabasta arc, which takes up the majority of this saga. How she is trying her best to stop the fighting that's going on between the rebels and the royals. And it's so well done. There's this great moment of her standing upon this clock tower, just yelling at everybody to please stop the fighting. And it's so heartbreaking, and you just feel for her. And it's so compelling. She is one of my absolute favorites, and I hate that at the end of this saga, it makes complete sense, but she does not continue on with our heroes as one of the main crew, but stays around in Alabasta to rule with her father. But it was just such a great character, such a breath of fresh air, and just absolutely wonderful. And then we get my personal favorite character of this show, Chopper, who is this reindeer who was born with a blue nose, who was considered an outcast by the rest of the reindeer, who then became even more of an outcast when he ate a devil fruit that basically made him kind of humanoid and be able to talk and also shapeshift into different variations of a reindeer or some sort of like bear. And that is just, Chopper is the absolute best. I love this character. He's also a doctor, and we get to spend a lot of time learning about him, particularly his relationship with this scientist that was on this island trying to create I think it was cherry blossoms in this very snowy environment. And this arc takes place on Drum Island, where Luffy and the gang end up because Nami has been poisoned by some sort of bug and they need medicine. They need a doctor. And there's this great set of episodes where Luffy is just climbing up this mountain with his bare hands bleeding, trying to save Nami, and it's so fantastic. And this is where we meet Chopper, and Chopper eventually becomes a member of the crew and becomes a doctor for the crew, and he's so likable, he's so cute, he's so freaking adorable that you can't help but love him. But he's really great. I love him so much, and he really adds something to the show that wasn't there previously. But the real heart of this saga is when they get to Alabasta, which is just so epic in scale. This is a large scale war, more or less, going on that our heroes are just thrust into, and they have to face off against one of the warlords of the sea, Crocodile, and the rest of his cronies. And it's just so entertaining and enthralling from beginning to end. And there's just a really great arc for Luffy as he fights Crocodile one time, loses, fights Crocodile a second time, it's kind of a stalemate, and then fights Crocodile a third and final time and just beats the everlasting crap out of him. I love how Luffy learns to fight Crocodile, because Crocodile also has eaten a devil fruit as well and has certain powers that Luffy has to eventually overcome. But all of that stuff with Alabasta is truly epic. I absolutely love it from beginning to end. Now, I absolutely love this saga. It is pretty much perfect for One Piece. I think it improves so much on what came before and adds so much more. However, I will say that the earlier arcs in this saga do serve their purpose, but I just wasn't as compelled with them and found them rather slow at times, but still enjoyable nonetheless. There's this great little arc where they all end up on this island full of dinosaurs, and it's a fun little thing for a couple of episodes, but I did want to eventually move on. But throughout these different arcs, we do get some really great character development. We get to develop our characters more and see them grow in new and interesting ways. And that stuff was really good. Also, I do feel that some of the character growth does stumble a little bit in this season. Once again, Usopp and Sanji really don't get that much to do. They're perfectly fine. They're just not my favorite. And then they kind of nerf Nami a little bit in this saga. She just doesn't have that much to do or as much to do as some of the others like Luffy and Zoro and of course Vivi. I also found that near the middle of the Alabasta arc, which is like the last 40 some episodes of this saga, it really does kind of slow down as you are constantly in battle after battle, and it can be a little bit exhausting. However, that did not detract at all from my overall enjoyment of this entire saga. I loved it from beginning to end. I loved the creativity. I loved the world building. I loved the action. I loved how emotional it got. I loved how much I came to care about these characters, and particularly Vivi. I love the show so much, and just seeing these characters grow and develop, and it was just so much fun, and it really made me excited to continue on with this show. And I'm already over halfway through with Sky Island right now, and I can say that this show just continues to be so stellar and so enjoyable that I seriously cannot wait to continue. So anyway, guys, with all that said, I'm going to give Alabasta a 9 out of 10. Well, guys, I want to thank you for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and check back next week. I will be reviewing Sky Island at some point, so look forward to that coming soon. Look forward to more reviews also coming. I've got a review coming at the end of this week for another movie. So, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and stay positive.